Hey guys, welcome back to Life After Neverland, and we are talking about Big Brother, the episode that just aired today on Sunday. We already talked about a lot of this stuff because we saw it on the live feeds, but now we got to watch it play out, and it was very entertaining, and we also are going to talk about some live feed stuff. So we'll start off with the votes because we did discuss in a previous video that Riley actually voted with the girls, and that created a whole witch hunt of who was the vote that did not follow in line with the guys, and it seemed like they were really pointing the finger at Will, who actually stayed loyal to the guys. So what do you think about that?
I was thinking about Riley in the sense that I'm not a Riley fan right now at all. You know, that could change. But is Riley smart? Is he actually playing the game? You know, lining with Rachel in the beginning anyways. Whereas like Keanu, he had Rachel's full favor and he's completely like bombing that whole situation altogether. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, I think Riley figured out right before the vote that the majority was going to be on the girl side. And so he's thinking, why vote with the guys just to show my loyalty? I need to vote with the side of the house that has the power. And then went to them and said, hey, I'm going to vote with you guys. And of course, Rachel now knows that. Amy now knows that. And so when that side of the house is going to start picking off the guys, Riley's going to be the lowest one on their radar. So I thought it was actually a really smart game move from someone who seems to not be playing the game the first week.
A lot of these people really come across to me, and some of them have kind of like told on themselves through just conversation that they really have not watched Big Brother at all. Okay. And so this is probably just by default. But Riley's flying underneath the radar while Keanu is making everyone look right at him and putting a target on himself in every direction. And we just got done watching a conversation that Rachel and Keanu were having. This is on the live feeds. They were having a conversation with each other in regards to the fact that Keanu does not trust Rachel, and she's confused by that because she did prove her trust in regards to like the whole Vince situation that happened recently. And he knew that. It was revealed by having a conversation with Vince that Rachel was actually telling him the truth and that Rachel really did have his back. And that's what I was saying when I was watching the episode. Like, what the heck is wrong with Keanu? You know, you literally have a BB, essentially all-star, supporting you and like taking interest in you. Why would you sabotage yourself like that?
And the big mistake is that old school Big Brother players, they understand the power of information, and they're really good about going around the house, starting little conversations, and pulling out important information. And Rachel, what I've seen so far, is like a typical woman, really good at remembering everything. And yes, every piece of information that she's getting, like when Keanu is trying to go into these little side rooms and go toe-to-toe with her, it's like, dude, have you not been in a serious relationship? You're not going to win this because she's going to remember so much more than you're going to remember, because every time he says something, she goes, well, what about this time when you did this? And he's like, okay, that's fair. Then he says something else, and she's like, what about the time you did this? And he's like, okay, that's fair. It's like, dude.
It was interesting watching their conversation. I don't know how much they're going to end up showing on the television show. I'm sure they'll show some of it. But it really felt like they were having a conversation that like a couple would have. Because in this game, you have to trust each other, just like you would have to trust your mate in a difficult situation sometimes. And he was trying to be attentive to what Rachel's needs were. But for me, it was interesting to watch because Rachel is a woman now. She's not in her 20s anymore. And he's in his 20s. So just watching the two of them, this was a big learning lesson for Keanu. So we'll have to see what happens moving forward. But can he be saved? I think that's the big question right now. Can Keanu turn things around, or is he completely like shot himself in the foot?
Well, one ex-person that I was following said Keanu and Rachel are either going to become mortal enemies or best friends, and there's not going to be any in between. And
yeah, that's a good comment.
I think that's a really good point, because even though they've had multiple blow-ups, they keep coming back together again and trying to figure out how to communicate.
I like Keanu. Honestly, I mean, he might be messy in the game, but I do like him.
Yeah, it's not just a huge blow-up, and then they just continue to gun for each other the rest of the game. They're going into these corners one-on-one and trying to iron it out. And even if they're butting heads a lot and getting frustrated at each other, they're trying to work through it. And so my prediction is I think eventually they're going to start working together.
I would be honored if Rachel had my back and I was a newbie playing this game. I would be completely honored, and I would not want to sabotage that. But maybe Zay got in his head, and I wouldn't know. Unfortunately, my dogs are playing right now. I wouldn't know, unfortunately, because the same thing that always happens. The live feeds are constantly on. We'll be right back, or they're changing the conversation to something that's like lame when something good is happening. They do it all the time. Okay, what's happening right now?
Yeah, I mean,
all of our animals are like on fleek.
As Big Brother fans who have been here for a long time, we definitely miss the old live feeds. I know we all do.
Yep.
And now we're just kind of stuck with what the producers do. And even when you keep switching cameras, there'll be a really intense conversation happening on a camera, and then they'll move it to like two people playing pool, not talking game at all.
No one cares about that. And I will say that I think in one of our other episodes we had talked about, or I think it was me when I did one of my solo recaps. Sorry, it's really hard for me to focus right now. Back in the day, we didn't have social media. Like when Will and Boogie and all of the All-Stars back in the day, we didn't have social media. So I think that plays a really big part, but it takes away from the transparency of the game. The reason why the game was made, the 24/7, you're not really watching them 24/7 anymore.
Yeah.
Not like it used to be.
Circling back to the episode, Will was blamed for the rogue vote, and eventually, like, the witch hunt was underway, trying to figure out who it was. It's like, I liked what Adrian said. Adrian's like, okay, the votes didn't go in our favor, like, let's move on. Like, let's skip the witch hunt. Why put a bigger target on yourself? Let's just move forward with the cards that we have dealt. And I think Adrian,
yeah, that's wisdom.
Yeah, he keeps doing some things here and there that I'm like, okay, maybe Adrian's got some game wisdom here. In the episode, they had the head of household competition, which was a pitch dark competition, and there was also multiple powers hidden around in the darkness. So it was a really interesting competition because even if you didn't win head of household, which was one of the first keys that was found, there was reasons to keep playing to try to earn one of the powers. Rachel had 2 keys in her hands, and then she went with one and put one down. The one she put down would have given her the power to hijack the HOH.
That was so deflating.
That would have been epic because Mickey, I mean, maybe Mickey will still do something great with it, but like if Rachel like guides her, because the first thing she does is comes out of the competition and then starts talking to Morgan about how she won the secret HOH competition. It's like, you have a top secret. If anyone knows you have that power, it cancels out your power, and the first thing you do is talk to someone about it.
I mean, I know that they're talking to people that they trust. I think with Mickey and Morgan,
that sounds like a law firm.
Mickey and Morgan, I feel like they'll be okay. But the Keanu and Kelly thing, nope. I don't trust Kelly at all. Why would you talk to Kelly about anything at all?
You think it's going to be okay, but the fact is that like things happen. You're gonna end up stealing someone's Fruit Loops, and they're gonna be mad at you, and they're gonna tell everyone your secret.
Anything can change at any moment. You can't trust anybody in the BB game.
We end that competition with obviously Jimmy being the head of household, and Keanu gets the power of a second chance. Kelly gets the opportunity to win a second veto, and now Mickey has a chance to overthrow the HOH, while Zach still has his $10,000 pull himself off the block power. So, like, there's a lot of powers, and so what ends up happening is, spoiler alert, which we've already had a couple, and I'm sorry, but spoiler alert, Keanu used his power, and for the power of veto, and by now, if you're following Twitter and everything, you know that Casey was the Big Brother player that came in to play with Keanu, and she won, which is a really good choice because she was a comp beast during her season, so that's a lot of fun. We haven't been able to watch that play out on live on TV yet, so that's going to be on Wednesday, so I'm really excited to watch that.
That was a really, really good pick on Big Brother's part. I was not expecting Casey, but then I really didn't know what to expect anyways, but that's going to help Keanu.
Yep, and I saw on the live feeds they were all talking about it afterwards, after Casey had left, and they were all saying how stupid they made themselves look because well, I guess we'll find out on Wednesday, but apparently like Jimmy fault started and Kelly like misunderstood the rules and did something stupid. So they're all talking about how they made themselves look stupid in front of a Big Brother legend, and Kelsey just like wiped the floor with them. And it's very telling of old school players versus new school players, because even Rachel in the house, back in the day, like Big Brother 19 and before, if a veteran came into the house to play, that house would have booted them out the first couple of weeks.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I really do feel like it was the past like 5-ish years where things have just gotten like completely off the rails when it comes to BB castmates.
Yeah.
Because Casey is a fairly newer, essentially all-star castmate, and she was amazing.
Yep.
And another one that was big on hers was who was the friendship guy? I mean, I can't believe I can't remember right now. Paul. Of course it was Paul.
Friendship.
Paul was the best. No, there's a lot that I can think of. And I think after that season, quite possibly is when we started to kind of like fall off the Big Brother mountain of
there seems to be an obvious skill gap between old players and new players. And that's what's I kind of like that experiment of bringing them in, because Rachel should be at a disadvantage being 40, having motherhood. Her body is not built the way it was when 15 years ago, and that's one of the conversations that's happening a lot. Is they're talking about how the wall is probably coming up next week, and Rachel used to dominate the wall, and they were talking about it like if it's a wall comp, Rachel might win, and Jimmy's like, what? She's like 40, and I think part of me wants to get frustrated at him for saying that, but it is going to be a lot harder for Rachel to pull this off, because she's not, her muscles and everything aren't the same as they used to be. So that
can't necessarily be true unless Rachel said that herself. I mean,
what do you mean said what herself?
Unless she said herself, I haven't really been keeping up with my my strength. Okay, I haven't been doing strength training.
Let me change what I'm saying a little bit. What I'm trying to say is I'm 42. My 25-year-old body and my 42-year-old body feel completely different.
Well, yeah, you do have aches and pains. So
that's what I'm trying to say.
That is fair. Okay, yeah, that is fair. Because we're speaking from our own experience.
At 25 years old, I would not.
We were both pretty athletic.
If I did that wall challenge at 25, I would not let go. I guarantee I would win that competition. And now,
yeah,
I know I would lose.
Even
back
crazy, stupid things. Like I have arthritis in my hands now. That's a new thing. So if I had to hold on with my hands, that would be a problem. Yeah. So that's an example.
That's what my point is. So
old people problems.
So the one thing that Jimmy keeps saying, and just now we're watching the live feeds before we started recording, he keeps saying, I'm the only one in Big Brother history that may have to put up 5 people in one HOH. I might be the only one that's put up 5 people. I might be the only person that's put up. It's like, oh my God, dude, we get it. Like, he has literally said it 1,000 times. I really hope
he does, and that sucks, but
I hope they put that edit into
it's part of BB.
Yeah. Like when sometimes production likes to make fun of the players, I really hope they chop that up and put it into the episode on Wednesday.
Expect the unexpected. Hello! That's why you need to watch BB prior to being in the game. You have to bob and weave and figure it out as you go.
So just to tag on to his nominations, Kelly has to win the veto in order to use her power. And if she does, then he'll have to put up someone else. His replacement nominees right now is going to be Will or Amy.
Why Will?
Because
he's drawing attention to himself, or it's just easy.
Easy. Like, he's trying to get the least amount of blood. He's like, I've already put enough. I already got enough blood on my hands, and then he's taking the 2 easy outs. Evil Dick put on Twitter today that, like, dude, you're going to take out the 2 oldest people in the house? Like, what a clown. I think he called him a clown.
I agree with Evil Dick.
As far as, let's see what other notes I have, because we're about to run out of time here.
I do like the fact that he was trying to flush the powers. To give Jimmy just a little bit of credit, I do like the fact that when he saw that Kelly was going to get the power, like he was encouraging her to get it. I thought that was smart gameplay.
Yep. And then another note I wrote down is that they all keep talking about jury. It's like week 2. Stop talking about jury. Like, you're nowhere near jury right now. Stop talking about it. Those are the newbies.
Maybe we could take a game note from Vince, who said he was going to play week by week, day by day, something along those lines.
In the comments, tell us, who do you hope will win HOH next week? Which side of the house are you on? Who do you think would be the most fun to have the HOH power next week?
Because, and who's your favorite player, by the way?
Right, and my vote is obviously going to be Rachel, because I'm a Rachel fan, and I think it'd be so much fun to watch her be the HOH and be a diva, wear the robe around, and be a pain in everyone's butt.
So who would be your second vote? If you didn't have Rachel, who would be your second house guest that would be your favorite?
To win HOH?
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
I'd probably want to say like, I kind of want to say Ava because I have no idea what she's doing, and I want to see what she does.
That's a good one. I would obviously choose Rachel as well, just because I think that she would like dominate the whole entire house. It'd be amazing. But my second choice, I'd like to see what Will would do. I want to see someone like Will do well in the game. So we'll see. I don't know.
Right
Let
now,
us know what you think.
For 5 weeks straight, Will has been voted America's favorite house guest, according to one of the polls that I follow.
I like him. So far, he's been like low key. He almost started to like jump in and go little cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. So Will, keep yourself cool, and let's see what happens.
All right, everyone. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye for now.
Bye.